Have you ever played a game that felt a little too real, where the code felt less like a program and more like a cage? I stumbled upon a game like that. It was called 99 Nights in the Forest, a simple survival horror set in an endless, dark wood. The goal was to survive. The problem was the cabin. It appeared on the third night, nestled deep in a part of the map I was sure I had already explored. A dark, rickety thing, barely visible through the thick, rolling fog. It felt out of place, but with my resources dwindling, I didn't have much of a choice. I pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. The air was heavy, stale. A single light bulb sputtered overhead, casting dancing shadows down the tight, warped hallways. The floorboards groaned under my weight, each step echoing like a countdown. The space felt wrong, claustrophobic. It wasn't just old. It was designed to be unsettling. As I moved deeper, my screen started to distort at the edges, a subtle visual glitch that made my head spin. Was this part of the game SC Fear Factor, or was my graphics card starting to fail? I tried to rationalize it, to remind myself it was just pixels on a screen, but the feeling of being watched, of being trapped, was suffocating. That's when I started to see things. For a split second, a faint, glowing grid would overlay the wooden walls like a blueprint. The geometry of the room would flash, highlighted in a pale, digital blue. The cabin wasn't just a random asset dropped into the world. Its angles, its dimensions, they were too precise. It felt less like a shelter and more like a meticulously designed psychological experiment. Flashes of abstract images, feelings of isolation and dread, not from the game, but from somewhere deeper, started to bleed into my mind. I wasn't just playing a character trying to survive the forest. I felt like I was the subject, and the cabin was the maze. I had to get out. I scrambled back towards the door, heart pounding in my chest. Bursting back into the cold night air, I spun around, ready to run. But as I looked back, something was watching me from the tree line. It was the deer-like monster from the game, the one the lore files warned you about. But it wasn't attacking. It was just standing there, its silhouette barely visible, with two faint lights where its eyes should be. It wasn't hunting me. It was observing, and in that horrifying moment of clarity, I realized the monster, the cabin, all of it. It was all connected. It was all part of the test. And then it happened. The cabin just vanished. One moment it was there, a solid, terrifying structure, and the next, gone. Just an empty clearing in the forest. I turned, and the deer was still there, standing motionless in the pale moonlight. Then, silence. The game hadn't just ended, it had let me go.